Okay. Here we have Cardinal Libra. Yes. There's no real laughing matter, you know? Now, let us lower this a little bit, because, this is when Saturn does his thing. So, you gotta take it very careful. Oh, what the hell? I like it loud. I'm gonna talk about Libra. And Libra. I can't do this without my spliff and my drink. Because I'm gonna talk about Libra. And there's a lot to talk about. How's everybody doing? Guys, I cannot do this without the split. Closing the door, right? And I'm coming back, and I promise I won't, I do prepare, but when I get on the air and I sit down, Saturn strikes, always something. But, it's in the management where the test lies. Now, my drink. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I love it. An apple martini. Oh, yes. Cardinal air. Libra. The spell. An inanimate object. The intellect that begins in Virgo is honored and exalted as we enter the cardinal sign of Libra. Yes. Delicious. Understand that when you're born with Uranus in Libra, you are the ultimate intellectual, the ultimate answer to most of the planet's problems, most of the disbalance that we see around us, and the disbalance that we see in ourselves are a direct result of our own making, of our own choosing. When you are born with Uranus in Libra, there is an intellectualizing of everything. Everything is intellectualized. Everything is put in a balance of opposing forces and conflicting opinions. The world is not really what you emotionally experience it to be. It is a mental illness when it comes to those concerns with Libra. The emotions, of course, you all know that for Libra, the emotions, especially if we're dealing with someone that's below age 30, doesn't really mean anything to them. When you're born with Uranus in Libra, there is an intellectualization of even life itself, devoid of any spiritual impulse. Now, I understand that making that statement might bring controversy to me, since many of you know how I feel about Libra. But understand that I also am a Libra, I'm born on the Virgo Libra cusp, so I am going to be fair and just, I have to tell you that Uranus in Libra does us a great favor. We don't have to rely on the emotional reference point to figure out if something is right or if something is wrong. Maybe feeling that something is morally right or wrong might not be enough for those born with Uranus in Libra. No, there's got to be an intellectual answer. There has to be an intellectual answer for the problems that we see in the world. All we gotta do is sit back. We sit back and we look at it. We find the answers in a book. Mental illness is not a spiritual condition. It is a dysfunction of the brain, a dysfunction of neurons and genetic gene pool selection. Everything is intellectualized. There has to be a cure and an answer for why we are plagued with these kinds of problems that the world faces. It cannot be that we're still animals, since we have evolved as a human species to not think in ways of primitive thinking, of emotions and ghosting, goblins and spirits. All those things are hogwash. That is not a concern, nor is it even real for those born with Uranus in the cardinal intellectual sign of Libra. Oh, the bee. Sorry, I cannot move the way I like, because with Libra, everything is very measured, very controlled, and very linear. There is no room for emotional nonsense. This is the essence of those born with Uranus in Libra. When you're born with Uranus in Libra, there's a uniqueness at looking at problems and crises and situations that may demand a very close observation of patterns. Because with Libra, it's all about patterns, and there are patterns that keep repeating themselves. Then this must be the modicum in which we can derive an answer for what's happening around us. The world is out of balance, but there's always pros and cons. And what can become a con can become a pro, and what can become a pro can become a con. So there's plenty of relativity. Plenty of relativity. There is nothing wrong with looking at life in this way. There's nothing wrong with putting the emotions aside and looking at life like a petri dish and breaking things into their component parts. And from there, we might find out what the problem is. But we're certainly not going to arrive at a solution if there is emotional interplay, which might block or interfere with the intellectual processes. Oh, it's true. This stuff has been studied and has been documented, and we can always find it in a book. Because in a book, we can find and see and actually understand the ultimate modicum of life, which is classifications. Things are in orders of classifications, from a lower arc to a medium to a hierarchy. There's no need to shed tears, to show emotion. What for? It is a waste of energy, because the answer is already within you. This is a logic that's very common sense for those who are born with the Uranus in the cardinal sign of Libra. Oh, the bee. It's not that those of us that are born Libra and therefore far intellectually superior, because we have the answers to everything. All four types of Cardinal Libra. So there is no winning with Libra when it comes to intellectual repartee or intellectual discourses. Of course, we are the most learned and most auspicious sign in the zodiac because we can leave the emotional histrionism to Scorpio, to Cancer that can't keep it together, or Pisces that can't seem to understand boundaries. Such inferior expressions of the human potential is something that cannot be stirred by Libra. So therefore, we must approach the world through logistics, mathematics, and quantitative analysis. This is the epitome of being born with Uranus in Libra. Oh, even the dancing has to be smooth, control. But here we see the beauty of Venus as she glides through the intellectual realms of the cardinal sign of Libra. This intellectualization of the universe, of the world, and even of human feeling is a remarkable feat for those born with Uranus in Libra. But understand that at the end of the day, Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus requires a balance of tranquility, peace, and beauty, all homogenized into a concentric intellectual shift. And that shift is what determines the life at the moment. Because when you are in a state of flux, as what the word Quixotic means, this is the essence in which knowledge is derived by each polarity shift that goes on. Understand that the engine and fuel comes from the opposite polarity of Aries, which fuels them the movement of Libra, either physically or intellectually. The physical movement of the cardinal fire of Aries becomes internalized in Libra, where that same active action of Aries becomes the same punching bag internally, psychologically, when Uranus is in Libra. Rati, oh yes. But understand that this makes a lot of sense. Because with Libra, there is no other way to look at it. It's like a Rubik's Cube. A Rubik's Cube, yeah, you got all the colors, and all the colors can be all messed up, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they're still the same colors. It's just a matter of arranging them. So a Rubik's Cube is an example and a perfect inanimate object that can define the cardinality of Libra. Because it's about the different realities and patterns of each perspective, which is why, besides the scales, the new image for Libra should be the Rubik's Cube. Because the Rubik's Cube is neither right or wrong. You got four colors, you mix them up. That doesn't take away from the truth that they're still the same colors. They're just not in the same patterns that would dictate a holistic concentric union, which is the solid colors each. There's no union when the Rubik's Cube is all distangled and the colors all over the place. There's no harmony, but it doesn't take away from the truth that there's still solid colors and there's arrangements. That's another perspective of looking at the truth. We can look at the truth as holistic, or we can look at the truth in part. And Libra is very satisfied and very content in looking at the truth in different prisms. And therefore, there is no wrong answer when you look at life in that way. The homogeneity becomes an asset. never a liability. Oh, not if you're born with Uranus in Libra, because Libra knows it all, understands it all. And therefore, humanity should stop at Libra, because Libra, with Uranus in it, pretends to have all the answers. Uranus in Libra. Who can fight such a cardinality? So, how do you integrate this type of energy that some people might consider arrogant, intellectual arrogance, to the epiphany of intellectual arrogance that only Libra knows how to express? Because not even Sagittarius, which is full of wisdom, doesn't have the arrogance of intellectualism that we find in Libra. How dare her, he, she, it. Pisces, which is the most wisdomatic sign of them all 12, is far more humble than Libra. But Libra sits at the middle of the evolutionary ladder of humanity. From Aries to Virgo, we got 6. And then from Libra to Pisces, we got the other 6. So Libra is important. We cannot dismiss it. We can only try to understand its philosophy, which is quite Quixotic, especially if you're born with Uranus in Libra. I suppose it's okay to look at life that way. You protect your heart. Oh, but don't get it twisted. There's still a soul inside that Libra body. And Libra can be just as emotional. Libra can be just as emotional as Gemini, which is another emotional sign, despite that it's air. Don't get it twisted. Uncle Fernando is an old school astrologer, and I've been around for eons. This is just another expression of the soul. But I've been around as an astrologer for eons of ages. I understand and know Libra. And we need Libra to be this way. It is complete impartiality. A neurosurgeon, a nuclear scientist. Libra represents lead. And would you have to build a room, a special room, for you to be able to measure lead? Because it's that sensitive. You can't have nothing in that room when you're measuring lead. In fact, when they first isolated lead, they had to create a room completely isolated, completely, just to be able to measure lead. This is the evidence of intellectual truth that Libra is looking for. And it finds it, or seeks to find it, through its balancing of perspectives, which defines moment by moment the reality of the situation when you are born with Uranus in Libra. It is a mental process that never ends with Libra. It is I can't tell you how many Libras have headaches, suffer headaches from thinking too much, tired, burnt out. Because it is a constant balancing act that's happening in their mind intellectually. And that is what determines and defines their actions. Understand what it is to be born with Uranus in the cardinal and very important sign of Libra. Uncle Fernando ran out of the hoops. Do your part, guys. Understand that what are we supposed to do? Well, we're not going to argue with Libra because there's no winning with Libra. Hence, its cardinality. So what we can do is just bob and weave and manage the situation, including these people, as best as you can. Intimacy, love with Libra is very measured. Very measured. Libra in love, and the irony is that Libra is ruled by Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. But we see this more expressed in the sign of Taurus than we do Libra. Which makes me wonder, what is Libra afraid of? What is Libra afraid of? Apparently, nothing. And that's a good thing. But when it comes to love, the very essence of being a Libra under the stars of Venus means that your love will require a surrendering and a releasing and of letting go. And this can actually be possible when you're born with Uranus in Libra. Oh, well, this is a commercial, but the commercial is so... Because, you know, we're Libras, you know. We like to have a good time. And with Uranus in Libra, you may very well have a good time, but it won't take away from that intellectual, you know, modicum. It's fierce. It's fierce. It's fierce. There's my boy. Oh, y'all know. The baby boy of salsa. So, again, salsa, by the way, which is, Puerto Rican, actually it's Cuban. La danza is Puerto Rican, but because of the political situation with Cuba, Puerto Rico took the stand. And salsa is very Libra, very Venus, very sultry and classic and elegant and sultry beauty. With Uranus in Libra, this beauty that's so externalized in Libra becomes internalized. Well, the beauty might not mean anything or be important when you're born with Uranus in Libra. The beauty takes another definition that defies physical beauty. So don't be surprised if you find a lot of Uranus and Libra people that may not be as pretty or as attractive as the signature of Libra and Venus suggests. These souls who are born with Uranus and Libra are here to stress beauty in another form other than the physical beauty. They want to express intellectual beauty, truth of beauty. This is epitomized when you're born with Uranus and Libra. Let me see if I can light a split, because I run out of the hooch. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you were born in the 1970s when Uranus was in Libra. Okay, many of you are over 30. So your approach to relationship will be unconventional, different, eccentric, unique. Sexual fluid. Guys dig guys, and girls dig girls, and they dig guys. The sexual fluidity occurred with this generation, where relationship is not about having a dick or a pussy or your desire. All of it can be balanced and interplay as we connect with our inner feminine as men and women connect to their inner masculine as women. Okay? So understand that there is, oh no, stop it. Yeah, come on. Oh God, please. I don't know what was happening right there right now. Okay. Oh, the bee. You might think, oh my God, this is the Libra part that I love. They're having fun. The actual beauty of just being a Libra. No, we have to give a prop. It is a very important cardinal sign. So I give my respect to the cardinal sign of Libra. Because without Libra, the world will be a chaos. We need the air signs to offer perspective and balance. I give this to you, Libra, with all honesty and love and respect. In fact, I have so much respect for the cardinality of the sign of Libra that I'm giving it another 5 minutes. So instead of 25, I'll end at 30 minutes. How's that? Just to show that I do like Libra. I respect Libra. I don't like you when you disregard other people's feelings and emotions. That's not cool with Uncle Fernando. Don't be that type of Libra. Emotions are just as important as intellect, Libra. I want to respect you, but respect that, because that is part of humanity, not just the intellect. And I'm talking to the lower evolved Libras. Get over yourself and be more human. You have a responsibility to human society. Be smart as you are and balance all of the human faculties as they should be, Libra. Yeah. So, now we're going to talk about Uranus in the 7th house of Libra, which is a whole different story. I love you. Listen, I love Libra. Because if I didn't love you, I wouldn't give a shit. And I wouldn't be fighting this hard if I didn't give a shit. But I do give a shit. So I'm going to be hard on you, Libra. So I understand that Libra is right at the middle. It balances the first 6 signs and then it balances the last 6. So Libra is important. And we cannot have the principality of Libra be biased because it might feel that the intellect is superior than the emotions. No. And this may be the quest that could take a lifetime for Libra, is to balance that. Because when it comes to your own personal life, romantic and love life, trust me, that intellect is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. You have to come from here. And that's Venus function. So, if you're smart, which you are, you will integrate these energies and don't judge the whole. Don't even judge the parts. Be impartial, but just show a little bit more empathy. That's all, Libra. And with Uranus here in Libra, that might be difficult because Uranus rules Aquarius, which is so air and so castrating that there's no emotion left by the time we get to Aquarius. So Uranus in Libra here is not complementary. Remember, these planets are demonic, archons, outer planets. So if you're born with Pluto in Libra, or Uranus, or Neptune in Libra, you're here to transcend those and use the energies that could be a liability to humanity and transform them into an asset, Libra. Without judgment. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, Libra. Okay. Ooh, that archon that came through me like, ooh. He doesn't like Libras very much. I like Libras. I'm a Libra, Virgo Libra. But this archon, he understands how they can be. But that's lower nature. We all have our lower nature. Virgo, we all have our lower natures. But Libra is so important in this astrological series. And we need her to be impartial. We need her to be impartial. It's not just be emotionless. Because then we can guarantee that the decisions that come out of Libra are true. And we can trust them and rely on them. This is the cardinality and essence of Libra. Let that sit in while I savor this beat. Oh. Tú eres mi amiga, porque yo soy tu amigo. When you listen to salsa, you want to fall in love. Uranus in the cardinal sign of Libra. And ladies and gentlemen, we're done. We reached 30 minutes. Libra, you can't complain. So please, everybody, donate for content, www.paypal.me/the people's astrologer. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. I had far more fun than I thought that I would. And now we're going to enter into more darker waters as we discuss Uranus in Scorpio. Call for a reading, 347-485-6258. I love you.